It's the Cooper and Anthony Show.
So last night, I almost got you to jump back on the air at like 9 or 10 o'clock because there was this huge fight going on Twitter between Drake and Michael Jackson.
Point of order, please, if you don't mind. Michael Jackson's dead.
Right, but no, the fans of Michael Jackson versus Drake's fans.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And the issue is who's a bigger star?
Oh, that's interesting.
So who has sold the most records? Who's going to, at the end of this, in 100 years, what are we going to look back and say, who was the bigger star?
Here's the problem. We don't know yet is the answer to that because Drake hasn't been around long enough. You know, Michael Jackson was around since he was a fetus. Remember, he was in the Jackson 5 first. He was, he's like an icon. He's one of the most iconic musicians of all time. Drake has the potential to be that level of iconic, but Drake has only been making hits for, a fraction of the time that Michael Jackson made hits. So it's not about album sales or downloads now. And also it's kind of skewed now. If you think of it like this, when Michael Jackson was selling albums, it was a big deal to leave your house, go to Tower Records, buy a CD or an album before that. So if he sold 1 million or 2 million or 3 million, that was a very big deal. And it was way more expensive because you had to buy the whole album. Mm-hmm. If Drake sells 1 million units, that just means somebody hit download on their Spotify. Not that it doesn't count, but it's less money because you're paying for Spotify. You basically get the song for free. It's not the same thing. You really can't compare the two.
So when I first saw this, I went, what are you talking about? It's not even the same ballpark. This is not even close. Michael, his record has stood for 37 years.
Right.
With Thriller. But now, looking into it, because the first time I saw it, I went, people are insane. It's not even a fight. But Drake outranks Michael Jackson with the most number one albums. He's had 10 to Michael's 6.
Right, but that's my point. It's easy to have a number one album when you just have to hit download. It's a bigger deal to leave your house, walk over to Tower Records, buy the album. It's really expensive. I don't have the money. I'm just going to borrow my friends and put it on tape. You know what I mean? I don't know that you're not comparing apples to apples here. Do you know what I'm saying?
But you are when it comes to top 10 singles. So
Drake has 9 number one songs.
Top 10 singles, though. Let's go top 10 singles.
Okay.
He's had 54 to Michael Jackson's 30.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
That's a crazy number. Most consecutive weeks on the Billboard Top Hot 100, 431, and the most Hot 100 entries at 258. Drake's got hits.
Oh no, there's no question that Drake has hits. I mean, he's an icon for his time. Mm-hmm. But, how long has Drake been making music versus how long Michael Jackson made music?
So now Billboard is coming out saying Drake in 2021 is now as big as Michael Jackson or the Beatles at their peak.
Yeah, I mean, I see what they mean. I don't disagree with that. When you count fan base and how fans feel about you. And I think Michael Jackson lost a lot of fans after the documentary and after all of his scandals. So I don't know that Michael Jackson has the same verve that, Drake is so beloved. I mean, everybody loves Drake. That's the thing about Drake. Drake has something that Michael Jackson didn't. Michael Jackson his music did cover certain generations, but literally my grandma likes Drake and my 5-year-old niece likes Drake.
But when Drake goes to pick a foreign country, it's not stopping the world like when Michael Jackson went.
Right, but I think a lot of that's social media also, because we didn't get a lot of Michael Jackson. Like you got a moment with Michael Jackson when he came to your town because there wasn't social media, there wasn't TikTok, there wasn't Instagram. Drake does those kinds of things, but he does them on social media, and his hits and views should be compared. Drake does something and there's like millions of views. I think that's the same thing as all the people who show up to see Michael Jackson.
I had no idea Drake was that big of a star.
Oh yeah, you did. I mean, everyone knew this. This has been talked about for a while, and you and I have been in music radio for so long. I mean, you had to realize that, Drake was having this kind of impact. But, think about it. So
not really.
Drake,
I mean, I knew Michael. My parents knew Michael Jackson. I guarantee my parents don't know who Drake is. So
right.
That's what I think is the difference. But
no, but that's my point, because Drake has been making music since 2001. So 20 years, which is a lot. I mean, that's a lot. And that's really like early mixtapes and that kind of thing. So his first real music breakthrough wasn't until 2010. So it's only 11 years. Michael Jackson made music. He's still, I mean, when he
was 11, he was making hit songs.
Exactly. Right. Exactly. So I don't think you can compare a career that spanned 50 years to a career that's only been going for 11 years. Talk to me in 20 years when Drake is probably at that level.
If he's still around.
Oh, no, he'll definitely still be around. But that's why he'll still be around. That's my point. Because he's so beloved by everybody, and he doesn't have any of those skeletons. Yeah, we don't think he has skeletons in his closet. If he did, we'd know by now. People have dug enough into his Twitter and social media and his history that anything that there is to know about Drake, we already know. There's no accusations. He's just a really good guy that people in the industry love, and then also Michael Jackson collaborated with Paul McCartney and Madonna and, along the way a little bit. Drake collaborates with everybody. Like every time an album comes out with a rapper, there's always a feature with Drake.
Let me see how good you are with the Grammys. See if the Grammys got it right or got it wrong with the best new artist. Let's see if you can figure out who was the best new artist of these years.
Okay.
See if you got them right. In 1970, on the ticket was Chicago, Led Zeppelin, Crosby, Stills and Nash, Oliver, or the Neon Philharmonic.
I only heard of two of those.
Well, Crosby, Stills, Nash, Chicago, and Led Zeppelin.
Oh, Chicago. Yeah, you know what? It's funny. I had this before where somebody said Chicago, and I was like, that's a band. But I do, once they played me the music, I was like, oh, yeah, I know Chicago.
Yeah. So who won that year?
Best new band?
Best new artist.
That year, I'm going to go with, I would choose Led Zeppelin, but I'm thinking it's Chicago.
Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
Really?
Yeah, I was surprised by that. 1979, The Cars, Elvis Costello, A Taste of Honey, Toto, or Chris Rea.
Best new artist.
Best new artist. So you had The Cars, you had Toto, Elvis Costello, Taste of Honey. Who won?
This is tough because I know that the Cars are always the spoilers. Like whenever we talk about the MTV Video Music Awards and we're like, Madonna, Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, the Cars are always the ones that are the most popular. So if that's the case, I'm going to go with Elvis Costello.
Because you would think Elvis Costello, when he came out, a Grammy favorite, because he was not the norm. He was a little different. No, A Taste of Honey.
What is that even? I never even heard of that.
They won Best New Artist. Okay, 1982. We're getting more current now.
Okay.
Adam and the Ants. The Go-Go's.
Wait, hang on. Is that the name of the band? Isn't it just Adam Ant?
Adam Ant and the Ants, I guess the real name was, but
it's Adam and the Ants?
Yeah.
I thought it was just Adam Ant.
Adam and the Ants.
Okay.
The Go-Go's, James Ingram, Luther Vandross or Sheena Easton?
Oh, that's tough because okay, let me weed them out. Definitely not Adam and the Ants because they had like one song and it was new wave and that was just too esoteric. Same thing with Luther Vandross. I think even though now we know he's iconic, I think his music was R&B and that was it. So it has to be somebody that appealed to. I never heard of James Ingram, so I'm canceling him out.
So now you have the Go-Go's and Sheena Easton.
Okay, I'm gonna go with. Oh, this is tough. I'm only going to go with I want to go with the Go-Go's because Belinda Carlisle was so beloved, but Sheena Easton was so like.
She had a half a hit though.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, the Go-Go's had a lot more hits.
Sheena Easton.
No, I was going to say the Go-Go's.
Sheena Easton won that year. She had a half a hit. Okay, so 1992 now. Mark Cohn, Walking in Memphis guy.
Okay.
Boys to Men, CNC Music Factory, Color Me Bad, or Seal.
Ooh.
They were all up for Best New Artist for the Grammys.
Best New Artist.
Mark Cohn, Boys to Men, CNC Music Factory, Color Me Bad, or Seal.
I mean, I feel like it has to be Seal because he had so many hits and that album was huge. And Mark Cohen had one song.
Yeah, but Boys to Men, look at the hits they had.
Oh, that's true. Maybe Okay, so Best New Artist. Okay, it's between Boys to Men and Seal. Again, CNC Music Factory, one song. Color Me Bad. I think they had one song. I'm still gonna go with Seal.
Mark Cohn.
What is going on? Wow.
That was 1992. Okay, 2005. Now we're getting more current. You got the Los Lonely Boys.
Right.
Josh Stone. Maroon 5. Kanye West. Gretchen Wilson.
Okay, now you are venturing into my time in the music industry. See, when you said to me initially, my Grammy knowledge, I had to be honest that my Grammy knowledge prior to like, let's say 2001 is garbage.
Okay, so now this is 2005.
Yeah, no, I know that it's Maroon 5.
Very good. How'd you know that?
Because like I said, I'm telling you, that's my milieu. Once you hit the 2000s, game on.
I'm surprised you didn't go with Kanye West.
I don't know that. I don't think Kanye West was ever that beloved in the industry. I don't think Kanye West ever got Best New Artist.
He was pissed probably that year.
Yeah, I think he never. I'm going to go with he never got Best New Artist. I don't know how many Grammys. I think he won a bunch of Grammys, but I know that he was not Best New Artist.
All right, 2014 now.
Oh, bring it.
Macklemore, James Blake, Kendrick Lamar, Casey Musgraves, or Ed Sheeran?
Okay, here's the trick to this. Ed Sheeran wasn't the Ed Sheeran we know now. He had only had the Angels Will Fly, whatever, about the girl that took heroin. That was really his only song. And while I think he eventually did win some Grammys, he did. He wasn't Best New Artist yet.
But when people went to see him live, they were like, the hell did I just see?
Yeah, I know. And let me also say that Kendrick Lamar, who eventually won a Pulitzer and Grammys and is probably one of the most important artists of his generation, he was not recognized yet. 2014, it was still not him. And that year was a huge upset because everybody thought that it was going to be either Kendrick Lamar or Casey Musgraves. Because remember, that was when country started doing the big crossover thing. So everybody was like, Casey Musgraves definitely has the juice. And I remember the dress she wore to the Grammys that year. People went nuts for her. It was Macklemore.
Very good. You are good with the post 2001s. Yeah.
This was when I was doing music radio and I was the entertainment reporter. This was the stuff I had to know. And I had to know why, who won and who didn't win. In fact, what's funny is I remember a couple of years before the big you skipped over, I think it was, I want to say like 2011 or 2012, one of those 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
The big upset that year is, my favorite artist, J. Cole, was up, but we knew he was never going to win because, again, like way too inside baseball. That was Nicki Minaj's big year. So people were like, oh, it's totally going to be Nicki Minaj. And it was Bon Iver. And people were like, who the hell is Bon Iver? Like nobody even heard. It was like this alternative guy. I think they used his song in some movie at the time, like Garden State or one of those stupid movies. And people were like, who is this guy? And then within a couple of years, we started hearing about Bon Iver. And he still to this day, like has not had the career that J. Cole, Nicki Minaj, or any of the other people he was up against that year have had. So there've been a lot of those weird choices for artist of the year in those 2010s that were just like, huh?
The Cooper and Anthony Show.
So we have a couple of Am I the Jerks that I wanted to some listeners who have called in. And I want to play them for you because I'd love to know what you think. Are they being a jerk?
Hi, this is Yasmin, and I went last week on a date, and I arrived at the restaurant a little bit early, and I sat at the bar, and this guy next to me offered to buy me a drink. So I said, sure, whatever. And as I was finishing up, my date walked in and saw me with this other guy, and he walked right out. And then he texted me a few minutes later saying that I was a jerk for having a drink with another guy when I was there to be with him. I mean, am I a jerk for taking a drink before a date?
1,000,000%. You're there for me. Pay attention to me, not somebody else.
Okay, so let me get this straight. So she goes to a bar, and while she's sitting there, because she got there, let's say early or on time, and her date might be a little bit late, she's obviously Yasmin's a hottie because she's some guy at the bar is just like, hey, can I buy you a drink? And guess what? Yasmin is single, does not owe this guy she's going on a date with, because right now he's just some rando, owes him nothing. So if she meets a guy at a bar and wants him to buy her a drink and it's cool with her, what's the problem?
No, repeat after me. I'm on a date. You can't buy me a drink, but thank you. Thanks for playing along, but I'm waiting on my date.
So you're on a date. You're sitting here by yourself. I don't see any date here.
The date is coming. Thank you very much. Look that way. Stop bugging me.
How do you know he's going to show up? Maybe you're getting ghosted. I'm right here. I'd like to buy you a drink.
No, I'm hot. I don't get ghosted. I do the ghosting. So I don't. I'm already talking too long to you at this point. So, like I said, turn around, you creepy guy, and talk to somebody else. This is off limits.
Okay, hang on a minute. Why do you assume the guy is creepy? I think Yasmin knows enough to say no to a guy who's creepy. Obviously, the guy wasn't creepy. And had she not been waiting for a date, she would have been interested in this guy. Why should she cut off the possibility of having a drink with her potential husband or boyfriend or partner to take a chance on some rando that she met on Bumble who may or may not look like his picture?
No. Any guy who buys a girl a drink is creepy.
What are you talking about? That's so stupid.
Because I've never done that. I've never bought a girl a drink. A guy
That's because you're cheap. That's because you're cheap. Not everybody's cheap like you.
No, if you buy the drink, then you think that you're going to get a hand job. So
no, you don't. That's ridiculous. What is wrong with you?
So
no.
The guy is creepy. He shouldn't be talking to her. He should be playing on his phone and not paying her any attention. He just wants free sex. That's what he wants.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Because here's the problem: if you're single and you're out there on dating apps, some guy, trust me, whoever she was waiting for, the jerk, he's the jerk because he texted her and was like, "I was on the date with you. Really? I'm the only girl you're interested in on Bumble. You only swiped on me and nobody else."
Maybe it was. Maybe it was the first and only person I have ever swiped on Bumble.
Right. Sure. Okay. Listen, he's swiping like crazy and he has another date tomorrow night. And let me tell you something. I have a friend who goes on a lot of these dates on Bumble, here's what he does. He meets one girl for a drink at like 8, another girl for a drink at like 10. That way he can say to the 8 o'clock girl, if the date isn't working out, I got to go. I have a business thing at 10. Mm-hmm. And then the 10 o'clock girl, he can say, it's late. I got to get to work in the morning. Like he has an excuse. So that way he conquers 2 birds, you know?
Yeah, that's what our buddy Dan would do, is he would set up 3 dates back to back just so he would have an excuse to get out of a bad date. But no, I'm waiting on somebody. Thank you very much. Have a good night. I don't need a drink. I don't want to get drunk. I don't want to get drunk before the guy shows up. I'm going to get sloppy drunk talking to you. It doesn't look good. If you go out with me on a date, it's me only. Sorry.
Okay, that's really selfish, and that's a red flag. And if that's your attitude, I'm glad that you didn't show up and texted me telling me, like, you were waiting for me. Like, ugh, nice ego, asshole. Besides the fact, who's to say that she's going to finish a guy buys you a drink? You can have just a sip or 2 just to be social. And when you're single, it's really hard to meet people. And if you walk into a bar and there's a cute guy sitting there who wants to buy you a drink, you'd be the jerk for saying no. He's right there in front of you. You can get his measure. You could check him out. If you're interested, say yes. Get the drink, get the phone number, and then go on your date.
No, leave Creeperson alone and wait on me. So now we both agree, yes, she is the asshole. So
no, I don't agree. She's not
I heard
only
you agreeing.
No, not only is she not the asshole, but the guy who texted her, the jealous guy who texted her and said, "Oh, you were sitting with somebody else." You know what? You're out. I'm so glad that this didn't work out. I'm so glad you showed me who you are. Right from the get, like goodbye, like boy, bye Felicia, like whatever. I would be so happy, and I would stay there with the guy who bought me the drink that I liked.
All right, now we have Kim.
An Insta story in response to my friends asking what to get me for my birthday. I posted my Venmo number and said you can easily just drop what you feel here. I don't care if it's $5. It makes it easier on my friends than going out and buying a present that I might not like or use. And my sister thinks I look like a jerk.
That's a weird one. You know, I really want to know what you think about that. So in case you don't understand what she just said or what's going on, it was her birthday. Her friends were like, what should we get you? And she just said, this is my Venmo. Just, give me $5. I don't care. Like whatever you were going to spend. I'd rather have the cash, and then I'll take that money and buy myself something or nothing or pay my rent or whatever, rather than somebody getting you like a sweater you didn't want or regifting you a candle, something really stupid like that. So her sister said, that's a jerk move. Don't give people your Venmo. Just let them buy you gifts. And if you don't like them, that's, tough. So what do you think?
I think it's actually kind of brilliant to do that. But the bad thing is, so let's say you do this and you say, okay, here's my Venmo number, buy me something for my birthday. And I only spent $20. So I Venmo you $20. Now you know how much money I spent. But if I buy you a sweater, it could be a $200 sweater or I got it on sale for $10. You never know.
Right. There is that. That's true. But that's why she said, even if it's $5, I'd rather have $5 in cash than like a $20 sweater I'm never going to wear, was her attitude. Yeah. So, yeah, I see what you're saying, because then it's very specific how much money the person is giving you. I think, yeah, you're a jerk. Don't give people your Venmo for a birthday gift. It's one thing if all you guys are out for dinner together and you're like, okay, $20 each, Venmo me, whatever. That's a different story. Mm-hmm. But a gift is something that is from the heart. It's something that means something. Somebody's giving you a gift for a reason. If they're just going to hand you cash, then what are they doing? Buying your friendship? Like, it's not about the money. It's about it's about somebody giving you a gift. At my house, it's a really big deal to open presents. Like, we love opening presents in front of each other. And we have this thing that we do where we give each other one really expensive gift and then like 4 or 5 cheapy little gifts, just so you have something to open, because it's like fun to open something. Hey, it's a chocolate bar. Hey, it's a pencil, whatever. socks, I don't care. And then in the end, you open the big gift. Maybe it's like an iPad or something, or somebody bought, whatever. Everyone chipped in and got you something spectacular. It's more fun to open presents on your birthday, even if it's a crappy present. I think it's really rude and crass and low class to ask somebody to put money in your Venmo. I'm not your mother. You're not away at camp. I'm not putting money in your camp fund. No, not cool. I think it's rude to hand somebody money, unless it's different if it's a wedding. At a wedding, you have your wedding registry, but then people can also hand you cash. Like, both of those things are okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think a wedding or like a bar mitzvah or something to that effect is the only socially acceptable time that you can hand the person cash. On a regular birthday, no, that's tacky.
All right, here's an email about Am I the Jerk? See what you think about this. My girlfriend had a nose job 3 years ago at my request.
Oh, geez.
I don't know how you bring that. I don't know how you bring that up. But he said I did not pressure her.
Okay.
So, yeah, I don't know how you bring that up. So right there, you're a jerk.
Yeah.
If you bring that up, maybe you shouldn't be together. Anyway, the procedure went really wrong, and her face is now disfigured.
Oh, my God.
We stayed together throughout this, and I covered her legal and medical bills and did my best to support her emotionally. But for the past year, however, I feel like I have a lot of guilt. I found myself losing patience with her and canceling most of our dates, making up excuses. So I kind of broke up with her because she's not attractive to me anymore. Am I the jerk?
You're both jerks. You're both jerks, because if a guy is offering to give you plastic surgery as a gift and you're going to take it from him, and it's not your husband or somebody that you're living with or in a serious commitment to, no, you're a jerk. You're a jerk for taking that kind of money, even if they can afford it. Plastic surgery is your own damn business. You pay for it yourself. You don't ask your significant other or your partner or your boyfriend or girlfriend to pay for your plastic surgery. Like, right then and there, you're a jerk. Yes, he's also a jerk because he's responsible now. That's why he's a jerk too. Because once you've spent that kind of money and you are changing somebody's appearance, now you owe them. Mm-hmm. Like, you need to get her on Botched, on Bravo, and have those
season
guys.
Premieres tonight, by the way.
Of course it is.
Just to let you know, it premieres tonight, and I knew that.
Yeah.
So,
and have Dr. Dubrow, have him fix up that nose, get her on there. That's you need to fix the problem. And this is like if you buy somebody a car and the engine breaks or something happens, you need to make good on that. This is the kind of thing that you see all the time on
whoa. So if you buy somebody a car and the engine goes out, you're responsible?
Yeah, of course you are.
Why?
Because your intention was to get them a good car, and you gave them a crappy car, clearly, if there's a problem.
No, you can't tell that the car is going to be bad when you buy it. It was fine when I gave it to you.
I think if you have the kind of money to buy somebody a car, you got to make sure it's a good car. This is the kind of thing that you see on the People's Court type shows all the time. Judge Judy. This is the kind of stuff she handles all the time.
And by the way, I've seen a lot of Judge Judy lately because Facebook Watch just rolls Judge Judy's back to back to back. She is not a nice person.
Are you just learning that?
Yeah, I never knew until now. She's mean.
Okay, like 20 years ago, she said, "Don't pee on my shoes and tell me it's raining." Like, that was her catchphrase. Like, she's been a nasty, you-know-what, all these years. That's her appeal, is that she doesn't take any crap.
She didn't even let you talk. Stop talking. It's crazy. I'm like, this is great TV. I've never seen this before.
Yeah, she's sick of their crap after all these years. I mean, she's making all this money. She's been doing this a long time. You come in, she knows what your story's going to be. She knows who's going to win before you even say word one. She doesn't need you to talk. She'll handle it.
It's one of the most longest running TV shows.
Yeah.
It's up there with The Simpsons. And she's just nasty. Every time I haven't seen one where she's nice.
So her husband used to be a member of the gym
He wants to kill himself daily.
No. He's also a lawyer and I think a judge as well. He's the nicest guy in the world. So I was a young personal trainer at a gym and Judge Judy's husband was one of the members and he was like my buddy there. And at one point they tried to set me up with the son.
Really?
Yeah, but he was way too old for me. But it was really nice of them. It was like they liked me. Well, I never met Judy, but I knew Jerry, the husband.
Mm-hmm.
And he loved me and he was like, "Oh, I'd love you to be in my family. Like you have to meet my son." And I was like, "How old is he?" And at the time he was, I don't know, I guess in his 30s and I was like 19. I was like, yeah, no. But thank you. Thanks for the compliment.
Backed up the Brinks truck to your front door.
Well, yeah, I didn't, It's so funny. I look back on that time. My friends and I talk about that. Like my friends and I now that have no money, we're like, God, when we were like young and hot, like we could have pinned down some like older rich guy.
Mm-hmm.
But I've never been like that. Like I have to be with somebody I'm attracted to. I can't be with somebody for money. I've broken up with guys that are just jerks. My friends are like, "Are you crazy? Their families are billionaires." Like I don't care. I'm not in it for the money. I'm really truly one of those stupid women that's in it for love. It's so funny because now like my mother's like, "Yep, you get married for love the first time and the second time it's for money, but too late for you."
It's the Cooper and Anthony Show.
Here's where we're at this point. It's amazing to me that we still have people that don't understand the vaccination COVID thing. And we're not going into it again. We're not going to get preachy. The only reason I'm bringing it up is because we're at a place right now that Family Guy, okay? That's the stupid show on Fox that Anthony and I love with the family that has Peter and the dog and the baby. And it's just a ridiculous show. And our good friend David A. Goodman used to be one of the creators and writers of it back in the day. And we love the show, but it's a cartoon. It's like a dark, dirty, completely inappropriate cartoon.
Mm.
Here's where we're at. Family Guy today released a PSA to get vaccinated.
God, I hate getting shots. Why do I gotta get this stupid COVID vaccine anyway? Peter, it's COVID. You should know how to say it. It's been well over a year.
Yeah, I only ever read it.
Oh, it isn't the mommy to be. No, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna be competent today. Now, before I administer the vaccine, do you have any questions?
Yeah, how does your vaccine work?
Well, think of the vaccine as a large ethnic bouncer and COVID as the drunk entitled white kid yelling, "Do you know who my father is?"
Oh, Jesus.
Everything. Vaccines have been around for hundreds of years. They helped eliminate smallpox from the face of the earth, and they're well on the way to doing the same with polio.
Exactly, Stewie. Thank you. Stewie is smarter than 3/4 of the people I work with.
Those were once devastating diseases, you understand. And now, thanks to vaccines, you don't even have to worry about them. What do you say, Brian? Should we show them how it works?
So, all the people that you know that got smallpox, oh, wait, nobody does.
Right.
Why?
Yeah.
Because they make you get a vaccine when you're like 2.
Yeah.
For smallpox. That's why it doesn't exist anymore.
That's the point they're making, yeah.
Well, I have a date with that chick that works at the bowling alley.
And it's not going to be totally preachy. I'm just warning. It's not really preachy. It's more science-y. So
we like science-y.
Yeah, so just bear with us.
What the hell? Where are we?
We're inside the fat man's body.
Fine, I'll text her. I'll be late. There's no reception.
Yes, there's too much plaque in his arteries. You'll
There's a
never...
lot of plaque and there's a lot of fat in the bloodstream.
Anyway, vaccines protect us from illnesses by activating our immune response without the danger of actual infection, thereby training the body to fight off the real thing. Some of the COVID vaccines work by exposing your immune system to proteins which resemble the spike protein of the virus.
And it's Meg's head.
Yeah.
Cannot infect you. The vaccine
everybody hates
stimulates
Meg.
your immune system to make antibodies against the virus, mimicking what happens when you get COVID, except that you don't get sick with the vaccine. The mRNA vaccines actually use the genetic code of the virus to create a pretend version of the spike protein.
See, that's the thing. It's a pretend DNA strain of the COVID itself.
Yeah, they do a good job of kind of explaining this because there's a lot of stuff that I didn't fully understand. But now that they have the Meg head vaccines floating around and Stewie and Brian are inside Peter explaining it, this is what I needed. I needed them inside Peter showing me exactly what the I mean, I was vaccinated, but just still, it's nice to understand.
Hi, I look like the virus, but I'm not the virus.
Right.
That's
When the real
Meg,
virus
yeah.
tries to attack your body, these pre-made circulating immune proteins are already available, coded to recognize the virus and at the ready to fight back. They essentially
wake up,
find,
yeah.
bind to, and kill the invading virus, drastically reducing the chances that you'll get
They
sick.
wake up and kill
the vaccine
Meg.
also results in the creation of memory cells that will fight the virus in years to come.
Memory cells. Right. I'm glad you said that. I was going to touch on it.
Don't do that. So the more quickly we all get vaccinated, the more quickly we can all get back to doing the things we love safely.
Right, like that
See, Stewie is brilliant. I'm telling you.
chick at the bowling alley.
Yeah, I was thinking of, like,
The fact that Family Guy had
As
to
of
go
now,
to this length, you know,
billions of COVID vaccines have been administered safely to people
like the
around the
CDC
world.
wasn't enough.
Brian,
we needed
I think you're
we
stepping on...
needed Stewie to tell us about this.
Yeah, people
the science.
probably listen to Stewie more than they listen to Fauci.
Peter's liver.
Help me.
Oh, God.
Yes, let's just swim over here.
All right, well, what Peter might ask is, what if the vaccine makes him sick?
The common side effects from the COVID vaccines are generally mild
It lasts like 20 seconds.
and last
Then
a few
you're
days.
fine.
Do we really need
But
to
do you
have
know
this
what's
conversation, though? You don't know the answer to this question yet.
No, that's why you got to do a
And
cartoon.
have serious long-term side effects? COVID.
Well, he also says he just figures everyone else is going to get it, so why does he have to?
Well, what he should understand is that getting the shot not only protects him, but also the people around him. But even more importantly, if the virus is allowed to spread through an unvaccinated population, it could mutate into a variant that the vaccines might not protect against. And then
Exactly.
we're right back where we started. Gal
That's the
Gadot
problem.
singing Imagine. We cannot let that happen.
That was terrible. Yeah, celebrities
one of
trying
those
to help us
Schoolhouse
through
Rocks.
COVID.
Except, without the rock.
Yeah, it's like school. Way to end strong, Brian.
So now they've
You know what, Doc?
they've beamed
I changed
back
my
to
mind.
now.
Something inside of me tells me I ought to get the shot.
I think you're going to be very happy you did.
Okay, just give me fair warning because I'm very afraid of needles. And also some guy on the radio said
You're done.
Some guy on the radio who's,
Is that a
as we know,
freaking
probably now
Bart
dead.
Simpson Band-Aid?
There we go. So that's a PSA from your friends at Family Guy. So if you don't want to listen to the CDC or science or experts
or us.
maybe, yeah, or us, maybe go listen to Peter and Brian and Stewie. And, it reminded me, there was this really funny thing today that there was a letter to the editor written to the New York Times that I wanted to read to you.
Oh, great.
Yeah, this is a good one. And just so you know, this is so funny because I have a friend that works for the New York Times and it's his job to go through the comment section.
No.
And
Can
yeah,
you imagine?
it's a stressful job. You can imagine when Trump was president,
Oh,
what it was like working for the New York Times. Oh yeah, it was tough. So I think he's one of the people that kind of unearthed this. So this is interesting. I have to confess to being a one-time anti-vaxxer. I was adamantly opposed to the vaccines against measles, mumps, pertussis, diphtheria, tetanus, and polio that I was mandated by the state to
It's
take.
tetanus.
But I later realized that it was actually a good thing. And then they close it by saying, kindergarten changes a person. So, yeah, as you can see, they're making the point that even in kindergarten, you have to be vaccinated to go to school here in the States. So there you go.
I'm going to tell you something that's starting to flare up in the South. So there's a couple of people right now that I know haven't been vaccinated, so you can't blame it on the vaccine, but are getting shingles.
From?
Just there's something in the environment that's giving them shingles. It's like an uptick in shingles that people, even doctors are going, I don't know what the hell's going on.
There's a shingles epidemic where you live?
It's starting. I'm telling you now, it's starting. I can't explain it, but I want to warn you now, you don't want to get shingles. You don't want it. It was the worst thing in my life.
Wait, you had shingles?
Yeah, when I was like 20.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was so bad. It hurts so bad.
I don't think I know exactly what it is. What is it?
It's kind of like chicken pox. So you get it on your skin and it's like bubbles and stuff like that. But it could be small. It doesn't have to be big on your skin. But it feels like, well, and the doctor has to scrape it, which is horrible. But go down to your fireplace, get a red hot poker, and just poke yourself nonstop over and over and over again. That's what it feels like for like a month.
I can't believe you got it so young because I remember asking I was going to say my vet because I spent so much time with my dog. No, I actually asked my doctor. I heard there's a shingles vaccine. And I said, do I get that? He's like, no, you're way too young. So I'm surprised you had shingles at 20 because I think it's a thing for older folk. Yeah.
And I got it when I was 20. I'm telling you, I couldn't go to work. I couldn't do anything. I mean, it was painful to even open your eyes.
Whoa.
So bad. And it took so long to get rid of it.
And what did you have to do to get rid of it? What do you do?
They give you B12 and whatever, but, they give you things to get rid of it. But man, it's so painful. And I only
How long did it take? How long was it in your system?
Probably about a month.
You had shingles for a month?
I took 2 weeks off of work. Me.
Oh, yeah.
Me. I don't take any time off of work for nothing. I lose a leg. I go to work the next day.
Yeah, on the
I
other
always
leg.
say, if I call in sick, call the ER because it's not good. I took 2 weeks off. That's how bad it is. So I know 3 people right now with shingles.
What?
Just telling you, it's coming, and I can't explain it. I don't know what it is.
Something else to worry about. That's all I needed in 2021. Awesome. Thanks. Thanks for this lovely.
You would be so. You would be such a pain in the ass with that. I'm telling you. It's kind of like rib broken Cooper. It's like
that was pretty bad.
Yeah, it's that on steroids.